Hello, everyone, and welcome into B&T Sportstalk Show. Great Sunday to be watching sports. We had 2 full days of sports this weekend. The NBA playoffs are hot. Somehow, after all these games and all these crazy finishes, we are somehow still only in round 1. It feels like we should be a little further along, but we're not. But thank y'all for joining us. One thing you need to remember is to subscribe. Okay, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on the video. We appreciate it. For those who don't know us, we're constantly putting out highlight content centered around sports, and asking some interesting questions about the NBA and the NBA playoffs as well. So check us out. B, how you doing today, man?
Living better, Gucci sweater now. It's a great Sunday. I'm doing good, man.
Good.
Life's good. I can't complain, man.
Can't complain. Feeling good. I see these, Warriors feeling great. Not so much for me over here as a Lakers fan, feeling like garbage. Team is trash. I don't know what they're doing. Bunch of idiots. Quite frankly.
Basketball.
Yeah, I don't know about that. They're doing something. Yeah, well, man, let's jump right in.
Get into it, man.
First thing we got to talk about is the playoffs. We will start with our teams. Most recently, obviously, the Lakers played the Timberwolves earlier today on the primetime game, and it was dog water.
They lost by 3.
Dude, they almost. I believe the 103 with about 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden the everything fell out. All the air came out of the balloon, and they kind of did the same thing again as my camera freaks out. So they kind of did the same thing again, where unfortunately somehow a team with LeBron James and Luka Doncic could not figure out a way to score going down the stretch. So this is second time we've seen in a row, so we can't just say it's an accident or it's just a freak situation, but it appears to be to me that the Lakers have they wilted or wilt under the pressure. This is the second time in a row they've done that, where when the stakes get really high, they completely disappear. I mean, they were 103 to 103 at about 5 minutes in game 3, and they proceeded to score like 1 point the rest of the game. This game they had almost a 10-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and they very quickly gave it all back. And it's kind of been what they've been doing, man. I'll let you comment on before I get in a little bit deeper, but the bottom line is this team is not built like the guy that's over my left or right shoulder, whichever one y'all can see. None other than Kobe, Mamba Mentality, Bryant. Instead, we got guys slipping on banana peels and dropping passes, dribbling the ball off their foot and throwing turnovers to nobody. Just in missed and blown layups. It was really just a cosmic comedy of calamities. The Lakers look like amateur hour in some of the biggest moments in the game. It was just pathetic. Go ahead, B. Go ahead.
These are the type of games where you need your leaders to step up. Luka did what he needed to do, right? What he had over almost 40 points today.
Yeah,
he was hot from 3-point land. The step back was working. LeBron, these are the kind of games where it needs to be you and Luka and a little bit of contribution from everybody else. Austin Reeves had a pretty decent game today.
He did all right.
He had an all right game against the in game 3. But the bottom line is there was no to me watching it, I really didn't feel like a sense of urgency, right? And it's like LeBron has those times of where he's just like he gives up. He did it in game 3. He had that terrible turnover at half court that led to a Wolves bucket. Dude, he stayed behind the play. He never even came back. And I feel like he's just dude, I don't even know what to say because you guys shouldn't be in this position. There's no way that you guys are getting outplayed by Dante DiVincenzo, Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert of all people. The Wolves don't even want to use Rudy Gobert in the offense. He's just there to fill a hole. And McDaniels is also having a pretty good series.
Yeah, that's who's killing
right
us
now. And that's the guy who's absolutely, keeping the Wolves afloat. But the Lakers talent wise outmatches what the Wolves provide, but you're seeing a turn. The Wolves are just outplaying the Lakers, and the Lakers are like, it feels like it's just nonchalant.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did see that in game one. There was a little bit of that in the game as well. But and the issue for me is crunch time. Okay, you there are times in games where, no matter how you play, you get down to the wire, and then there's going to be that opportunity for you to either make or is it going to be a make or break for the game. And so too many times the Lakers do this thing where they're up 11, they're up 10, and the moment that they get even a little bit of a lead, they lax, and then they let up, and they concede the lead right back to Minnesota. And that's what they did throughout this entire game. It was a combination of, one, they couldn't get organized on offense to save their lives. The last few plays of the game was literally Luka Doncic just dribbling for 10 seconds. I mean, there was no actual play being called or set being run. As great as Luka played, he had one missed layup late. And I know you might look at how many points he had and said, hey, well, you know what? He played pretty well. But I'm sorry. If you're a star in this league, and B, you can speak to this, when you get a layup or there's an opportunity to score, you're right there at the bucket. Though in a close game in the playoffs, there must need points. Any easy points you have to get them. And the Lakers, honestly, like I said earlier, they wilted under the pressure. I mean, the pressure of being able to playing in these games where you're going down the stretch against a team that is hungry and really is playing with house money, they did not show any life at all. Dude, that play where Luka Doncic slips on a banana peel and nothing happens and they have to call a timeout. Then they come back and turn the ball over again on the inbounds pass. Right after that, he gives it up. And man, it was again, like I said, it looked like amateur hour. Just a lot of unforced, stupid turnovers that didn't make any sense at all and came at a lot of critical times within the game where you needed any guy to make a play. But you mentioned it, B. You look for your best players to play good. What you don't want from your best players is slipping on their own feet and turning the ball over. Okay? That's not what we're looking for. I could live with a missed difficult shot, but I can't live with us just unnecessarily turning the ball.
I mean,
over.
look. Yeah. Well, as a Warrior fan, we see a lot of that there. We're the king of turnovers. If we average about 20 a game here. Yeah. But you're right. Like in these crucial moments, you have to be at your apex best, and the Lakers haven't been. And these are two games that easily could have went their way, especially after entering the fourth with a 10-point lead. Now, 10-point leads are like 5-point leads in the NBA, and 20 is regardless. Though you have to find a way to lose it right away, and it doesn't feel like that. And I'm sorry, but in the fourth quarter with less than 5 minutes, the only two players that should be touching this ball at all times is Luka and LeBron. Unless they get double teamed, I need them to do their thing.
Yeah, but that's the problem. That's what they did. It didn't work. They went to Luka down. They went with Luka down the floor every time, and that didn't work. And that's where you gotta really look at the coaching about this in this too. Okay,
well, that's the other thing. Is it JJ Redick?
Luka dribbling the ball 3/4 of a court because they were picking him up full court. Okay. Him doing that every single time down the floor so that by the time that they got into any type of offense, which they didn't really run any, there was only about 10, 11 seconds on the clock. And from there, he dribbles the ball 5 more seconds. And it just pushed them into this scenario where they didn't give themselves a lot of options on offense. They didn't run any sets to get anybody open. It was stupid in my opinion. If anything, they should have took the ball out of Luka's hands and then got him the ball in a more advantageous place. We did not go LeBron power. We didn't go LeBron in the post at all. We abandoned that completely in the fourth quarter. We didn't even run any plays that involved LeBron, quite frankly, down the stretch of the game. It was literally just Luka dribbling the air out of the ball at the top of the key. Like that was the play. The play was watching Luka dribble the ball for 15 seconds. It was ridiculous. The guy couldn't get around Randall. He couldn't get by Gobert. Remember, Gobert picked him in the game before. Like it's not working. Like you got to do something else. And the fact that they didn't get that. Now, the one few plays they had that did work in the fourth quarter were Rui Hachimura and Austin Reeves knocking down a three. The ball moving after those couple plays just deadened. And so that's my thing. They cannot play that type of offense and expect to win games like that. It didn't work. And when you know that your guy doesn't have it, you got to call a timeout and reset that thing and get that thing going the right direction. They just thought Luka was going to win the game for them, and it wasn't going to work out like that. It hasn't worked. It doesn't work. It's not working.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to the chat real quick. Bruce, welcome in. Says, hello, gentlemen. And then says, OKC, KFC, UFC, lawsuit in 5. He is referring to our man Shannon Sharp, who's in a world of absolute trouble.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, let's go Warriors for Monday. LeBron, the GOAT, choked in the fourth. I guess the pill stopped working. LOL. And Effects, who always welcome as well, man. He is in charge of our music. Damn, someone Mario Karted Luka.
Yeah, rough day.
Luka and LeBron cannot defend a cone, and Shannon Sharp OnlyFans girls. Damn, he's going hard on Shannon Sharp right now.
Yeah. Now, LeBron did play pretty good defense throughout a majority of this game. I don't think I'm expecting Luka to play that much defense. So
Luka's not known for his defense. That's the thing. Like in his
job, unfortunately.
In his young NBA career, remember this is only year 6 or year 5 for Luka, right? Like this isn't even. He's not even near 10 yet. He's never been known as a defender. He's always been an offensive guy.
Yeah.
So if you're expecting him to lock somebody up in crunch time, no.
And they're gonna pick on him, which they did a lot of. And I hope this is motivation. You know, obviously there's some more games to play, but this has to be motivation in the offseason for Luka to get in that gym and start eating some vegetables, bro. Because at the end of the day, teams are gonna keep coming at you like this. McDaniels had 30 points, people, in the last game. McDaniels, 30 points. He don't average 30 points a game. And literally all they were telling him to do was just pick on Luka and try to drive around him and get to the rim. So, and the fact that the Lakers don't have any center shot blocker back there just makes it that much easier. So they got a lot of stuff, lot to figure out. But again, to me, this is a mental thing. This team, for whatever reason, they are not capable of playing long extended minutes at a high level. And they're also have this thing where they just take their foot off the gas the moment they think they've done something. And it's just, it's not good enough. And it's not going to be good enough to play against teams in the playoffs, obviously. So we'll see how it goes in the next game. Even if they win the next one, it's just a pride game at that point. And then it goes back to Minnesota.
So what's your prediction? Look, LeBron's been in a few 3-1s. Obviously, as a Warrior fan, we know our last 3-1 with him didn't turn out too well. Mm-hmm. Does he overcome this? Now, remember, that 3-1 team that he won a championship with, I think doesn't match to what he's got on his team now. Can he recover this 3-1?
Well, there's a couple of things you have to look at because it's not that simple. If you remember in that series, I believe that they almost beat the Warriors in game 1, if I'm not correct. Was that the same series?
No. That was a different series.
That was the first one. Okay. Well,
that was the fourth. It was the fourth one. It was the fourth one when J.R. Smith had a brain fart. Yeah. But that was the fourth one. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, but the bottom line is, my point is that if it were a game where they have the capability with the players that they have to beat Minnesota, I don't think that's a question. Yeah. But what is a question is something that can't be controlled, which is their will and effort on the court. And if the will, effort, and focus is a concern, it's a double-edged sword. One, if they fix those things, then yeah, they could come back from the series for sure. But two, those things are all mental. So they're not things that you can coach. So if they can't figure it out, the series is dead. It's over. So it's kind of like I said, double-edged sword. Because these are mental errors that they're dealing with, if they could bring it all together and not make the mistakes, absolutely they could come back and win this series. But from what they've shown thus far, there's no I haven't seen any real something that jumps out on paper and says, hey, like, yeah, we can do this. Because if you remember, the one game they did win, they were gassed coming out of that thing.
Yeah, they were.
So it's nothing the Lakers are doing looks easy. And so that's where the issue is. It would be different if this were closer. These are close games, but if they could show some consistency in the end of these games, and they just haven't been able to do that, man. So yes, they have the opportunity to. They could definitely take it 7. They're just going to have to win one game at a time. And if they just take out some of the mental mistakes, ahead of the on the break, and is a turnover because he's not open, and just if they get rid of some of that garbage, they'll be all right.
Yeah. We ready to move on to the other team? You get that out of your system? I just want to make sure you're good, man.
Yeah. So the Warriors, the Warriors. Well, I guess let's see.
We came back to Chase Center and we smacked the crap out of the Houston Rockets. Oh, they thought they had us at first. They thought they had us at that first.
So it says if Curry wins should we read through these because they're coming?
Yeah. If Curry wins this chip, the GOAT case is taking a bit of a hit. We talked about that last week. It is going to be a very hot topic if that happens, but that's a big if, because the West is going to be tough to get out of. The Lakers only scored 6 points tonight, and I guess Ham Sandwich going to the conference finals not that bad. He's talking about your boy Darvin Ham, the dude from Fifth Element.
Wait, what? Ham Sandwich? Who? Who?
Taj, you hear me?
Yeah.
Darvin Ham. He's talking about Darvin Ham.
Where's he going?
Yeah, he just said, I guess Ham Sandwich going to the conference finals. When you guys went to the conference finals under Darvin Ham.
Oh, he's trying to say going to
That's
the
what he's referring
finals,
to.
Not
That's what
bad.
he's referring to. Hey, be easy on my boy, man. He just got off of work, man. Be easy on him, man.
I know. Look, like I said, man, I don't hate the Warriors as much as anybody else hates the Lakers. I'm used to it. Look, this guy behind me, everybody hated him. They love him now because he's gone, but they didn't like him when he was playing. So I'm used to people having more hate.
Because he was winning, and
people have more hate for my team than I ever would for any of their teams. That's just what it's like being a Laker fan.
That's true. But yeah, the Warriors.
No, so Warriors had to get this game. Jimmy Butler was not going to play. We found that out late. We found that out early on.
Booty bone was hurt.
Butt, just like same thing that happened to Curry, right? Fell on his butt. Yep. Butt bone hurt. Can't come back. Okay. Stay out them Diddy parties. And anyway, so he's not going to be able to.
We know it wasn't a Diddy party, okay? We all
I'm just joking. And so they came in. They got it done, man. The Rockets were looking tough in the beginning. They came in, they built a nice little lead. They were feeling good about themselves, and then Curry comes out the game. They feel a little great. Here comes Curry. The assassin gets back on the court, and man, he showed out, man. That one shot where he pump fake and drilled that thing right in. Who was that? Was that Jalen Green? Or was that Corey Dillon?
Jalen Green was no more than like 2 inches away from Curry when he lined up with him, and then Curry just quick shotted him, and it went in, man. You can't, dude. This is one of the you know how we talk about your greats having that game.
Yeah,
everyone knew Curry had to have that game.
I told you, I texted you, right?
Yes, you did.
I said if y'all don't win this game, this has to be a Curry backpack game.
Yep.
That means everybody getting Curry's backpack, and I'm going to carry you there. And that's exactly what it is.
The fans just jumped in that backpack too, bro. I was in that backpack going, take us to victory.
Yeah, and I think what was most impressive about that was the fact that this wasn't just one of those three-point barrage games. Your boy was getting to the rim. He was hitting the mid-range. He hit that one behind the back crossover. I forgot who was guarding him. Sent dude flying to the left and shot the mid-range shot. For two.
Well, that was Jabari Smith Jr.
Jabari Smith Jr.
Smith Jr. got crossed up.
So Curry was in his bag all the way. And because he was playing at 3 levels, that makes it even harder to defend it. Because, again, great players, you figure out what you can and what you can't do or what defenses are looking to take away from you. Obviously, the Rockets are looking to take away the 3-point shot. Curry took advantage of that, got towards the rim. But, B, I want you to talk about the others, man. I want you to talk about guys like Moses Moody, who got some plays and actually was playing pretty darn good in this one.
Yes.
Post was out there hustling a little bit. He was doing his thing. And GP2.
That was the player of the game there. GP2. The every time the Rockets went to go double Curry, it's like GP2 had a wide open lane to the hoop, and that started happening later in the game. And his 3-point shot was going in the corner, and so look, that's a big one. But my man Moody, man, the stuff that he does on the defensive end and rebounding, and the hustle that he puts into that night in and night out, I am so glad it is paying off for him. I believe he earns more playing time in this series here. I know we want to run Kuminga out there. Nah, Kuminga's in his own head right now, and rightfully so. He hasn't played in a while.
Yeah.
But man, Moody, I will give Pajemski a shout out as well. Quentin Post had 12 rebounds.
Yeah.
Quentin Post is a big man 3-point shooter, and they told him, we need you down there. And it helps. But I think what you also notice here is the way the Warriors swarm to the ball on the defensive end. They put in a very hard effort with having to go against Şengün and Aquaman. Where am I? Steven Adams.
Yeah, Steven Adams. Yeah, you got it. Aquaman.
When they put those two in the lineup, they are a large team, and the Warriors are battling with them on the boards every single time there. But I mean, look, this was all about Curry in Game 3, and they did just enough to make sure that 38 points didn't go wasted to the side here. So
and how about your boy Buddy Hield going for 17 after not playing not barely getting minutes in any of these playoff games?
Hey man, I was no lie though. Like every time Buddy Hield shoots, I lightweight just get a little scared. Like that confidence level.
I mean, he only does one thing. You know what I mean? He only shoots threes.
But we've seen a very bad Buddy Hield for the last 2 months. So when he has these games, these are the games that you need here. But
all right, but let me point this out, because this was I pointed this out to you. I remember we were texting back and forth. The play of the game, and when I knew it was over, was when Steph Curry got the block on Fred VanVleet and threw the ball half court to court and got it to who was that?
Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield for the layup. I know he could.
Oh boy, Jabari Parks Jr. was chasing his ass down though.
Yeah, because he knew he couldn't. He ain't got no athleticism. He's trying to get that ball. But but everybody was picking it up on all ends, and I thought it was a good show, good showing for the Warriors, because without Jimmy Butler, this kind of was that game where you kind of got to send that message that says, no, not so fast. We still got this, and pretty much taking control of the series going back to Houston after already having won a game in Houston.
Look, the Warriors are in full driver's seat at this point now.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So all they need to do, and there's rumors that Jimmy Butler will be playing tomorrow night. He almost got the green light to go, but they ruled him out to the very last minute. They ruled him out. So I wouldn't be shocked if Jimmy Butler comes in and plays in Game 4 here, because if the Warriors walk out of Chase Center with the 3-1 series lead,
yeah, it's over.
It's over. And you're not talking about a team that's not used to closing on the road. This team has won championships on the road.
Sacramento. Ask Sacramento.
Ask Sacramento about Game 7. Ask that backpack game. Curry dropped 50 on them. So, but let's talk about the Rockets for a little bit here, okay? Jalen Green has got a upside of talent, right? 38 points in Game 2, 9 points in Game 3. When you talk about experience in the playoffs, this is it. He had 11 points in Game 1, 38 in Game 2, and 9 in Game 3. Your superstar player cannot do that. Amen Thompson looks like a shell of himself out there. He really doesn't know what to do.
He's not an offensive player. That's not his game.
No, but regardless, though, we've seen the man get to the hoop.
Yeah, but it's not.
He's reliable.
It's different now, because he makes points on hustle plays.
Yep.
He can catch the ball in and around the hoop, but whenever you're asking him to go 1v1 or to try to make a move to get to the rim, that's not his game. He can't do that. He's not there yet. You talked about Jalen Green. Jalen Green is just like Zach LaVine. They're the same fucking player. Excuse me. They're the same player. they're the same. They're the same player. Sorry.
I love it.
Yes. They're the same guy. So Zach LaVine, same idea. Great athleticism. They can get hot from the field. They can get to the rim. But they're so terribly inconsistent. And when they're on a heater, look out. They'll kill you. But if they're not on that heater and that doesn't happen every game, forget it. Those guys are going to be clanking bricks and building houses. And that's just how these guys are. Unfortunately, Jalen Green is not there yet. And, he should probably maybe clear some of the fingernail polish paint off his hands so that he could get a little more focused on shooting the basketball.
That's what
it's messing up his shot. Messing up his shot.
Was doing to him. When they had that little confrontation at the end of the game, Draymond told him to go paint his fingernails.
Yeah, man, it's like, stop all that. But anyway, let me get off that. But at the same time, it's just this Houston team, they don't have a superstar. That's the thing. Şengün is the best player that they have on their team.
And beyond he looks terrible on the block. Like, you want to talk about
I don't know what happened to him.
Post move? Holy crap.
And he's generally good in the post. But,
yes.
But the Rockets don't score points, man. That's not what they do. They didn't score that many points all season. They're not a high percentage shooting team.
Bro, there was one possession where the Rockets missed 3 straight threes. They got the offensive rebound every single time, and they continue to miss. And it's like, I think Dylan Brooks finally hit a 3 to end that little streak there. But dude, they can't score in the half court. They have no half court offense.
No, they're nobody on their team scored more than 20 points.
Yeah.
No, they had nobody reach 20 in the game. They shot 39% from the field. So.
Damian Lillard looks he's getting helped off the court right now.
Oh.
Ugh, that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that series is about over, man. I know he came back.
Sorry. But... I turned to watch to get a glimpse of the score, and Lillard's being helped off the court. But in any case, look, man, you thought the lights were bright in game 1 for Houston. It's a little different when you get on the road and nobody likes you.
Hey, can we talk about Dre Kung Fu? Because
let's take it back to game 2, all right? Because there's still a lot of talk about Amen Thompson. There's a lot of video out there, and I try not to get sucked up into this kind of stuff because, look, I said it wasn't a dirty play, all right? And then you watch the replays a lot more, and I hate that I did that because now it starts changing your mind a little bit here, right? Yeah. Now, does it look like Draymond threw Amen Thompson into Jimmy Butler from the jump? It does.
I'm not even talking about that play, but I know what you're saying. Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
And so there's that. But let's talk about the flying back kick that he tried to deliver to Amen Thompson. And look, we posted the video, and you guys say winning is winning. It is. But watch the video. No,
I'm asking what it was, is what I'm saying.
He tried to kick.
What the hell was that? Like, what was that? It's funny because Draymond is notorious for doing this stuff where he does this sort of erratic, spastastic body movements that send his arms and legs flailing I'm not a hater, y'all. But y'all gotta be honest about what's going on. He's been doing this for years. He kicked Steven Adams in the nuts on a play twice where he jumps in the air and just kicks his right foot out. Okay, he did that whole thing where he nut punched LeBron in the finals and all that, and I don't know what that was. Then he does Nurkic, I think it was, or who was that? The guy,
the spinning back face.
Yeah, the whatever the heck that was. So this guy Draymond does this stuff all the time, and we know after watching him this many years that he's doing this stuff he's definitely pushing his limbs in awkward ass directions for no reason. And that was pretty close to him if he had kicked Amen Thompson in the head, that would have been a flagrant. Like they would have called it.
Yeah, he would have been suspended for at least a game.
Yeah, why are you doing that? And then the other one where GP2 cracks Jalen Green in the nuts. I don't know what that was about.
No. He ran over Dylan Brooks, which I'm okay with.
Oh, I don't care about Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks tried to set a screen and
he ran. That's fine. He drop kick him for all I care. Just drop kick him. I don't care.
Let's talk about Dylan Brooks because before game 3, he made a comment that he thinks Draymond's the dirty player.
Shut up.
Can we not forget that this dude literally tried to take out, or he did take out GP2. He has nut punched LeBron. He's nut punched LeBron. He's nut punched Okongwu from the Hawks. He's kicked Sexton in the Dingleberries. So Everything Draymond did, Dylan Brooks follows right after.
Yeah, but Dylan Brooks has a bad habit of opening his mouth. Okay, didn't he learn from being in Memphis when he wanted to talk about how old LeBron was and all this crap? And then they got knocked out of the series, and they was all looking stupid. It's so stupid that he got traded, or not traded, but they didn't bring him back. And so I don't know what this guy's problem is, man. He needs to just shut his mouth and keep playing. He keeps trying to pretend like he's the fourth or fifth Bone Thugs and Harmony member, and it's not gonna work. Nobody's afraid of you. It's just antics. And so I think dude is he's fried, man.
Bro, he fouled out so early in that game. Yeah, it's almost like he did not care. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be that veteran for a young Rockets team, right?
Not him. Can't be a
veteran. But that's what they brought him in for, because he's been in these playoff series. Same with Fred VanVleet. That's why they gave him all that money.
Yeah, Fred's been garbage, man.
But those aren't guys who you can say have deep playoff runs. They're not.
Well, I mean, Fred has because he was with the Raptors. But other than him, that's it.
Look how many times the Raptors got bounced out. It's not like, dude, the Raptors never made the finals. They never made the conference finals.
They couldn't beat LeBron. They couldn't get past the Cleveland Cavaliers.
and Houston couldn't get past the Warriors during that time.
Exactly. They sure couldn't.
Let's transition that to our next one here. The refs have been absolutely terrible, and I'm not going to talk about the Warriors series because they just can't control that. Because at some point a UFC or a jiu-jitsu
Wait, hold on. I got to interrupt you. We got to go to the chat here because this is getting out of hand.
What I miss?
We got Bruce Morrow here. Your team's fans created the hate. How? By winning championships? How did the Lakers create the hate?
I would say this, Bruce. No one likes Warrior fans right now because of our championships and what we've been and who we have on our team as well. So we're kind of trending there, but it's
But hurt or not, we won. Yes, I'm aware the Warriors won. I haven't said anything bad about the Warriors.
He was referring to Jimmy Butler's butt hurting.
Yeah,
not us being
butt hurt or not, we won. Okay, great. Jalen Green. Think he could score on all old people. The Warriors are not old, not Drea Michelle. Okay.
Oh man, that's the girl that Shannon Sharp is screwing up with.
No, that's Jalen Green's baby mama. That's who that is.
Is that Jalen Green's baby mama?
Yeah, Drea Michelle got a baby with some other players too. Warriors should not underestimate the Rockets, and the Lakers fans created the hate and talking crazy. I'm not talking crazy. You must be talking about someone else, not me. I'm very realistic.
There are good Laker fans.
I'm very realistic about my team. If they suck, I say they suck.
Hey man, so do I. You know me. I'll be the first one to criticize my team.
Right.
With everything. But we caught up on everything?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Let's get into the chat about these, or let's get into this topic about the refs now. And so, like I said, it's not so much the Warrior series, but you're seeing it in the Boston Magic series. Every series here, they have been so inconsistent. And you want to talk about guys with experience? Like, they really put you through a ringer to see if you can handle the playoffs. They can't handle this right now.
Dude.
And they are just letting stuff go that they should be calling, and they are calling stuff that should be let go. Like, it is the complete opposite. Yesterday, for example, how does Dylan Brooks almost clothesline Curry and not a foul called on that three-point shot?
He had a couple plays where he was at the three-point line and he's catching body contact on Curry. So I've seen that a few times. And I think what's worse than lack of officiating, where maybe the game gets too physical, is when the calls and the type of calls are inconsistent. And I think that's what the issue is. It's like a call one day should be a call the next day, or a call in the first should be a call in the third or the second. And you're getting these games where guys are getting ultra physical, and it's leading into all this extracurricular activity. A lot of that we saw with the Clippers Nuggets game, right? Where, you got Harden gets all up in, Braun gets all up in Harden's face because, Harden is mad because Braun is getting up in his body and makes contact. He fouls him. And so they're getting tired of that. A scuffle pursues because, here comes Aaron Gordon, here comes Joe, here comes all these people to try to defend Braun. Okay. And then a skirmish breaks out. Now, I'm going to pinpoint that there are two plays that stick out to me because I think they affect the game. This one is the first one. So when Aaron Gordon comes over like he's a rampaging madman to come and get after Harden, he throws a punch, okay? He throws his arm out there, all right? But he doesn't hit James Harden. He hits Norman Powell in the face. Literally, he caught Norman Powell in the face with a open-handed slap, a punch, okay? He should have been ejected from the game, okay? How did the... No, Draymond wouldn't even the refs don't do anything to Draymond. Are you joking right now, right? Draymond gets away with anybody more than anybody else because he's doing it so often. He don't get it. Rasheed Wallace. I mean, Rasheed didn't hit nobody. His ass was getting more technicals than anybody. Yeah, he got one for sitting on the bench. Okay, so I'm not gonna cry me a river for Draymond, but look, yeah, I know, but it's like, but this play, in my opinion, this is important because Gordon hits Norman Powell in the face. They don't see it. I guess it doesn't get called or seen in the replay. This is the same guy that gets to tip in, dunk to end the game. Like this type of stuff is in when these refs. We're saying that these refs are messing up. We're saying that they're making egregious mistakes that are costing teams playoff games. Literally. So that's play number one. Okay. B, I don't know why you're... Let me check your camera. You're like frozen for some reason. Let me fix this real quick. That's play number one. Play number two is the Knicks-Pistons game, right? The end of the game, Tim Hardaway Jr. gets the ball in the corner, pump fakes, gets Josh Hart moving into his body, pulls up to take the three-point shot, gets body bumped, the ball goes just wherever, and they don't call anything. They're just like, game over, guys. Good luck. What the hell? What was that? What was that? Dude. Oh, shoot. Hold on, B. Hold on. Let me, we gotta fix it. You hold on. Let me, I don't think anybody can hear you either. So bear with us, folks. Let me figure out what the heck's going on with, this, we're facing some technical difficulties. It's always at the best times, right? You know what I mean? I'm telling you, man. And then here we go with this garbage. And then, all right, there we go. Let's bring you back. Perfect. All right, boom, you're back.
All right.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No. So it's like, dude, that's you got to call that. Like, you got to call the obvious. That's an obvious call. You need to make it happen. And for the refs not to do that, it's just crazy.
Absolutely. And I'm actually going to put up the video so you guys can see. Oh, great. Now this thing doesn't want to work right. I tell you, it's always been trying to do something.
Look, man, like, the refs have to be able to control the game, but still let it be physical. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to allow the physicality, but we talked about it, recklessness and physicality. They are allowing too much recklessness to take place and not allowing the physicality. Look, it's the playoffs. We all get it. There comes with the upside of intensity to it. You can allow that to happen. But when you are allowing more than what needs to happen take place, you got to control it. Right. Like, you got Warriors players getting a towel thrown in their face.
Yeah.
You got Amen Thompson taking a little jab at Spencer towards the end of the game in game 2. And it's like, dude, these are the emotions you have to control, because all that does is just carry into this series. And as long as the series goes on, it's like a build up pressure, right? Continues to build until it absolutely explodes. And then we got a problem on our hands.
Yeah.
So they have to find a way to control these series here, but allow for the physicality to take place.
Yeah, man. And I think those two plays are just kind of egregious because they really are game-winning plays. You know what I mean? Like, they affect the outcome of the games. And it's just, refs have to be better, man. And they have to be more consistent with how they call. If we're going to let some physicality go, guys coming over guys back over guys, just be consistent with it. Just make sure it's the same on both sides. Make sure it doesn't change quarter to quarter.
like in the first quarter, like at the tip off of the game, right? They call a foul on Dylan Brooks for holding Curry.
Yeah.
Why call it now?
Right.
There's no point in it. He's been getting held all series,
Yeah.
and now that they're home, you call it right away.
Yeah.
Like at this point, as a Warrior fan, we're not expecting that call to take place because you guys are letting it happen.
Yeah.
Literally, you can see Jalen Green hugging Curry for a second and letting him go. That's a foul, man. You're not allowing your player to move.
Yeah.
But they're not letting none of that happen. And then you call it in game 3 with literally 6 seconds off the clock. Like, miss me with that.
Yeah. And there was
Don't
a
call
lot.
it if you're not going to call it.
And there was a lot of that, like, even in the Laker game against the Timberwolves, you had a lot of face guarding going on where guys are just face guarding guys literally with their hands in their jersey or a lot of hand contact pushing off ball. And you saw LeBron James trying to bring light of it to the officials by literally pushing off or arm barring or something to try to bring attention to it. But yeah, man, it's just, it's okay to be physical. There's nothing wrong with that. But just be consistent with the play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luka looking for a lot of fouls that just were not going to come. But at the same time, it's like if we're gonna call it one way, we gotta kind of be consistent with it. If a guy gets bumped on a layup on one end, and we call the end.
Yeah.
So hopefully the refs get.
Yeah.
You gotta be better.
Let's send the Memphis Grizzlies packing. They got absolutely. I mean, they gave it a shot at home. They really did, but it didn't work. We didn't expect them to win. We all knew that they were going to get swept. Ja Morant looked like a shell of himself until he got hurt. Like, that team just needs to figure out what they want to do in the long haul with him because, like I said, I don't know, he's not a franchise player, and Memphis just needs to kind of rehit. I'm not saying hit a full reset button because you have good players on that team. You just need to go get yourself a bona fide superstar.
Honestly,
I just don't think Ja Morant's it.
If I'm the Grizzlies, look, let's look at it like this, man. If I'm the Grizzlies, I'm already looking at teams like OKC and what they've done with their team, and I'm thinking we got to gut this whole thing. I'll be honest. Take Bane, JJJ, and Ja Morant and just kick rocks. Because, look, the bottom line is where you are right now is where you don't want to be. You do not want to be in this place where you're not going to be low enough to get a high draft pick and you're going to do just enough to lose in the first round every year. That's the wrong place to be in. So I think they need to retool. They need to start over. I like Triple J. I think he's a good player, but he's not enough to get this team over the top. Ja Morant is injury prone. We all know that. He's a guy that's built mostly on athleticism, over time. If they don't develop an offense in their game that includes them being able to shoot more consistently, then you end up like Russell Westbrook. You know what I'm saying? Or worse, you get injured and you end up like Derrick Rose. So it's step that game up and add some more to your game, John, if you're going to stay there. Otherwise, he needs to find a new home.
Yeah, Bruce says you got the Lakers down 3-1 camera right now.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's a struggle.
He said sorry. Ja Morant is a number 2. I agree with that. He is not a number 1. Like, he's not your guy to lead you to a championship. JJJ Defensive Player of the Year is gone. He just won that award not too long ago too. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean,
I just think all three of them need to be on different teams because it's not working. You have to let it go. Yeah. And that's a tough decision as an organization to make. You can't worry about the fans. You need to worry about your franchise. Right now, your franchise is not a championship franchise. And if that's where you need to get, sometimes you have to make hard decisions. Your team has moved off of some players, Alex Caruso, all right, Lonzo Ball at one point, and it's probably good that didn't work out because he's hurt. All right. But Alex Caruso could be a guy that you guys can have right now. That boy is locking everybody up in the playoffs right
I
now.
mean, I'm not
Like
mad. Look, when it comes to Lakers, I'm not that mad about roster,
Randall,
honestly.
you had Randall.
Yeah, but we trade all those guys to get AD. I mean, that's what it came down
Yeah.
to. But we're talking about the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Memphis Grizzlies don't have that luxury. They're not
That's
gonna
what I'm
they're not
saying.
gonna trade all their guys to get some big name players going to come through the door and give them an opportunity to compete any better than they are now. They're a team that has to start from ground zero. They need to scorch earth that thing and literally just kickstart it and start getting as many lottery many.
So now OKC gets to rest for like 2 months before they have to play again, which is disgusting because that's the last team we need to have rest. While the rest of the Western Conference absolutely just beats up on each other ferociously.
Yeah.
The last three series can easily go 7 games.
Oh yeah, no, the
They
Clippers
easily
Nuggets,
can.
love it. Great series. And that one of those two teams is going to play OKC. I mean, that's
Yep.
what it comes down to. My Lakers are in deep doo doo, man. Deep doo Warriors
We,
series.
nope.
And it's because the Timberwolves don't match up with the Warriors very well. They do well. They do well with us because they can put size on the perimeter, but they can't. You can't put that size on the perimeter with Steph Curry, and you also aren't going to be guarding a team that's literally standing.
Yeah. You got back screens and all of that.
You know,
It does not like you,
me,
bro.
the Lakers, Shannon Sharp, we're just
Falling apart here.
falling apart. We're on our last leg here. It's all just going haywire right now. But yeah, man, that defense, as good as they have been against the Lakers, is not going to be that great against the Warriors. They're just not.
And that's assuming we get Jimmy Butler back too.
Well, yeah,
So,
you got to get Jimmy. Well, Jimmy coming back is that has to happen.
yeah.
That has to happen for sure.
Look, we've saved this conversation. There's a lot of hot topic around one particular quarterback that took forever to get drafted. That was Shador Sanders. Projected to be a top 5 pick. No one had him going past the first round. Homeboy tumbled all the way down in the 5th round to a Browns team that now has a quarterback room of 5 QBs. It's ridiculous. And there's a lot of discussion about why he fell down to the 5th round, right? So, look, I hate to say it, but people are bringing the race card into this, and that's probably the worst thing that you could say because Cam Ward went number 1 in the draft. Like,
if you look down the line of quarterbacks that were taken ahead of Shador Sanders, I don't know if outside of Cam Ward, I'm not sure how many of them are better than he is.
The kid from Ole Miss is pretty good. He's a solid quarterback. I would say he may not be fully better, but he's right up there with him.
Right, but my point is Shador didn't go to him much later. So the question is that guy? If I'm a team that's looking for a quarterback and these guys are neck and neck. Is Shador this many draft picks worse than that player? Like, is he that bad? Like, is he that much worse than the guy that was the second quarterback taken in the draft?
You know how I feel about him.
Yeah, but okay, so and that's my point though, right? A lot of what he is getting is not necessarily based on his. Some of it's based on his performance, but some of it isn't. Some of it is based on the fact that he played for Colorado. A lot of it is based on the fact that the NCAA does not like Deion Sanders and does not like the fact that group or that organization or program, I guess they call it in college.
We call it program.
Is what is getting so much attention. And I think that's why he fell as much as he did, because the NCAA does not want the fruit of that organization, of that program, to be at the top of the draft. Quite frankly. Because there's what was there 4 or 5 other quarterbacks taken in front of him. I'm not going to sit up here and say that those other guys are better than he is. I'm not. I know for sure Cam Ward is. I don't know about everybody else.
I'm pulling up the quarterbacks that were drafted ahead of him. Dylan Brooks is or not Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks was drafted for? No, I was playing.
My bad. Look, and so here's the thing. You know, we live in an age where the phones, cameras, your support, all of that is key to you, right? To make it big, right? You need to have a cast of people behind you, right? Watch day one of the NFL draft. Shedeur Sanders had everybody with a camera mount filming it.
Yeah.
Right? It comes with it. Now, what comes with that is a lot of like pushback. When he was in Colorado, right, dude, the man played against Arizona State with $100,000 watch on. Let's not forget that. And NFL teams take notice of that. You remember, they made it. They put it like this: you are applying for a job to basically be the franchise of that organization, right? Like you are that guy. They just did not see him as that guy. And he's at best, he's got a lot of talent. There's a lot of upside, and he's got the opportunity to maybe prove everybody wrong. But are you going to spend time doing that, or are you going to spend more time behind the camera? It's got to be you. That's what they look at it. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could understand that, and a lot of it is because of the hype that comes with it. But let me ask you this: if you are a great quarterback, and the hype does come, how do we know you can handle it?
Yeah.
Because hype's going to come either way, right? Because if the argument is that, oh, well, if you're going to be behind the cameras, I'm afraid that you're going to be behind the cameras, your best players are always on the camera. Your best players are always got to have a camera flashed in front of their face and a microphone in their mouth, trying to tell them, asking them questions about how bad they played, why they didn't jump on the fumble, why they didn't do this, why they didn't do that. Quarterbacks are grilled and completely trashed in the NFL whenever they make mistakes on a week-to-week basis. So why wouldn't you want a player who's used to being in the limelight? Why wouldn't you want a player who's used to being under pressure and has people that are constantly asking more from him on a regular basis, and he's still being asked to perform? So that's what I'm saying. A lot of this doesn't have to do with what he's doing, his stats, and what he did on the football field. A lot of this has to do with Deion Sanders and the Colorado program more than it does Shedeur Sanders. That's what I'm saying. And in my book, from that perspective.
Yeah. My whole thing is you want him to be that franchise guy, right? I just don't. They look at it as we can't have all that extra stuff happening when we're trying to build an organization or whatever they're trying to do, to say the least. Why are we making such a big deal that the man went to the 5th round? Like, that's the other thing too. Why is this such a big deal?
Because he was projected to be better than that. That's why. It's the expectation that came with it. I mean, it's because it seems pretty obvious. Aaron Rodgers to go 5th round.
Yeah, he dropped
to the bottom of the 1st round.
But you see what I'm saying, though? Why are we making a big deal? Teams made priorities other than their quarterback. That's the other thing I want to talk about too. Is when you look around the league, they're set in the quarterback room. There's not a lot of teams that need to hit the restart button when it comes to quarterbacks. Maybe the Jets at most, but the Jets have other problems to worry about.
Yeah,
like we could like the Raiders, right? He was being talked about going to the Raiders till the Raiders went off and got Geno Smith. Aiden O'Connell's in there, so a quarterback for them is not a big deal. Seattle got Sam Darnold, right? There's teams that just have quarterbacks that are not going to go anywhere. Yeah. So they just don't have the room for that right now. So they went and filled other things that are more of a priority before they get to the quarterback. Now, remember, before quarterbacks were a big thing, quarterbacks always went in 5th, 6th rounds, right? They were hardly ever number 1 draft picks until more recent, when the quarterback kind of changed into a moving quarterback. Mm-hmm. But it's not a big deal that he dropped to the 5th round. Now we're just exploding on everything because of the fact that he's Deion's son, the fact that he shows out and shows off, all right, all of that is nice and everything, but is that really why he dropped to the 5th round? There's other factors too. They're saying his interviews with teams did not go well. That's the other, like, we don't know the full story of everything.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is just that there's, we're never going to know. And then on top of that, the man gets a prank call. Did you hear about this?
No.
So the Falcons defensive coordinator, his son, elaborated this plan to prank call Shedeur Sanders when the Saints were on the clock, said that they were going to draft him, and then said, "Oh, you know what? You have to wait longer," and hung up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like they pranked him on getting drafted.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to say is most of public view, and I think that prank you just stated is an example of that. There's more to it than just an NFL decision on who the quarterback should be. This is more about optics. This is more about the Sanders family. This is more about the Colorado. This is more about the TV shows or the amount of hoopla that was around Colorado during that time. And in my and I'm probably being a conspiracy theorist here, but in my humble opinion, it's the NCAA trying to send a message. The NCAA is trying to send a message that we don't want a situation where the athletes start to become bigger than the programs, and we want to try to dial it down because now they're starting to deal with guys trying to get NIL deals from other teams, and it's starting to become free agency. That's what they're afraid of. So
they call it the transfer portal. That's called free agency.
NCAA is in cahoots with the NFL to try to make sure that they put a little bit of a kibosh on the overexuberance of what we saw with Colorado, because they don't want it to become a business for those particular players. Is that fair? No. If it's a business and they can make money off themselves, who cares? They can do whatever they want. But the NCAA wants to try to keep that sort of old school reputation. And the NIL, they're going to try to hold off on it being as similar as it could be to the NFL. Because if you're honest about it, the way that a player would get money and make money in the NIL through college is probably a hell of a lot better than they could in the NFL unless you got a starter salary. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at two entities trying to hold these things down. And so from that perspective, I disagree. And the college can try to do what they want, but in 5 years, they're going to have the same problem on their hand. It's not going to change. And rather it be Shedeur Sanders or the next guy that comes through the door, the more that these guys become a commodity by being paid, the more they will start looking at themselves as businesses. And the more that they look at themselves as businesses, mean the more eyes, pupils, everybody is going to be in looking at them. That's how it's going to be. You can't avoid that. It's the same thing Caitlin Clark did in college. It's the same thing. You just don't see it at the collegiate level in football. But it's coming. Oh, did I lose him again? Oh, come on, man. Looks like I lost B. He's in there somewhere. But I lost him. So I'm going to try to get him back here, y'all. But anyway, jump in the comments, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about Shedeur Sanders as I'm kind of working on this. Let me...
Yeah, going on here.
There you go. Okay.
All right, I know. I'm here.
I'm hurt. You're heard, but you're not moving.
Am I here?
Yep, you're there. But your camera's frozen. But I'll talk about. I'll jump in the chat. Oh, there you are. Now he's back.
Here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is this.
You're breaking up, Playboy.
This is what I wanted to say.
You still breaking up, B? Hold on.
Getting to.
All right. Well, let me work on that. You're still. All right, now I can hear you a little better.
Bro, what is going on?
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just one of those days, man. It's just a special Sunday where everything's just falling apart, but that's okay. I'm
not saying anything.
We're gonna run. I know your camera's stuck, but I can hear you.
The Bucks start. Care.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me clear?
Yes, you're very clear. It's just your camera's frozen.
Yeah, I can hear everybody just fine.
Yeah, I don't know the camera thing. The camera's coming around.
Oh, Kenny, you got me good.
Yeah,
All right,
audio's.
I'll just jump in the chat then.
I got
Let's
your
see here.
audio.
Too many. Bruce says too many quarterbacks every year. Papa J says it was former 49ers Jeff Ulbricht's Jeff Ulbricht's son, Jax, that pranked Shador. Jeff is now the DC coordinator for Atlanta, and they took some heat for that. And then Bruce, the fear is Buck star Damian Lillard suffered a left Achilles tear. We might be watching Giannis play his last game in Milwaukee as a member of the Bucks before he signs a lucrative deal to be a Golden State Warrior. I know you hate that so much, T. um, and then Papa J, I felt bad for Shador. He seems like a good kid, and the same with Shiloh. But here's the thing, though. Like, are you expecting Shiloh to be a number one, like in the top 2 rounds? No. Shiloh didn't have a great college. He had a decent college time, but it wasn't something that was a first round. Because you know why? Travis Hunter was lighting it up for Colorado. That's why. Brian looks like he's going. I don't know what that
Oh
means, but all
man,
right.
I'm not sure either. Actually,
But look, am I clear? As this is the one thing I want to say about Shador. Shador, you've got the biggest opportunity to prove all of us wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove every doubter wrong. That said the things about you. My take is do it in silence. What that basically means is limit the camera use. To get out there and put that work in, right? Don't worry about the fame. The fame will come for you. If all I'm saying is just handle your business, become the quarterback one. Right now, you're in a room with 5 quarterbacks. All right, Gabriel, you have to outshine those quarterbacks. And if you could do that, and you're going into a place where quarterbacks go to die, you could have a chance to succeed here. But all I'm saying is kind of doing a little bit of silence, man. It's okay. Kaminga and others to the Bucks for Giannis. I would give up Kaminga, Trace Jackson Davis. Who else? I give up like 6 first-round draft picks because we're never going to be in the first round. We're never going to be in that position anyways. So give them all up and let's bring Giannis over. You can have him. You guys got Luca. We got Durant at one point. So these pipe dreams sometimes can turn into reality. You know what I'm saying? But and then Bruce Kaminga and others, I mentioned that. Papa J said, no, I was just saying that Shiloh seems like a good kid. Neither have the skills to be drafted high. Look, the Sanders kids are good kids. That we're not saying that. That's not why he didn't fall. He's got other things we probably none of us know about because that's internal with the way he possibly interviewed with teams. Who knows? He didn't work out in the NFL draft combine either, which I honestly think is a waste of freaking time. It is. Yeah, they did. I think we're gonna have to disappear like the Lakers series potentially. I know, but dude, it bites, man. 100% it does because you know why? Jalen Green is gonna have a big game because he only performs in games in even times, right? No game. He was not good in game 1 or game 3. He was good in game 2. So what Jalen Green are we gonna get in game 4? Yeah. Is mine working? All right. Well, I think we're gonna call it a night here, folks. We appreciate Papa J jumping in with us. Bruce, thanks for coming back, man. Hopefully you come back next week as well when we break down more of the NBA playoffs. Some series should be coming to an end. We'll be looking forward to round 2. And things are gonna get a little tighter as these teams race to see who is going to be the next NBA champion. So with that, y'all have a wonderful, blessed evening here. Enjoy the sports. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications here. drop a comment. Just because you're not in it live, drop a comment in the video. We are responding to everybody, unless you're from Japan, because we can't read it and we don't understand it. So until then, y'all, peace.